Before we get too far into anything with this topic, we definitely want to say rest in peace, Young Dolph, and condolences to any friends, family. Looked like he had a beautiful family from everything that I've seen.
To the city of Memphis, we definitely know your hearts are heavy right now for Dolph for sure. So just rest in power to him, man. It's unfortunate. We keep having these conversations about, staying in your community when you make it and stuff like that, and how, it's gotten to a point where people discourage it because it seems like we keep running into these issues where, people get slain in their homes, where they're from, where they grew up, where they routinely put money into the community. I think it's easy to say stuff like that in the abstract when you look at it and say, oh well, just another rapper dead in his hometown. But it's important to understand that, these individuals, whoever it is, have their own lives, they have their own relationships, they have their own indiscretions, they have their own whatever, they have their own lives. I don't know what the situation is on Dolph. I have no idea what the circumstances were. But my only thing that I do know is that circumstances are not cookie cutter. There's nuance to every situation. And I don't want, I don't want us to get so jaded towards staying home, building up home, putting your love and energy and money back home. I don't want people to become discouraged with that because we have so many of our communities that need that. Right, and that the little bit that they do thrive on, it's from the generosity of people like Dolph or whoever is giving back, feeding their community.
Yeah.
So I get it. I want to keep people safe as much as y'all want to keep people safe. It's unfortunate when something like this would lead to, a certain feeling towards staying home or having relationships with your communities once you make it.
Mm-hmm. There is so much that you can probably talk about surrounding the situation that you could talk about that may be negative.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather kind of talk about, more about the things that, in remembrance that you've either found out about Dolph or just the things that was dope about Dolph as an individual.
Yeah.
Throughout this, in remembrance, like I said, people kind of post stories and things like that. And I've just heard so much that I just didn't previously know about Dolph. Obviously, the rap persona, but you don't see a lot of times the things that he's doing outside of
for sure
rap music.
Yep.
And I mean, even in the music that he's created, there's something to be said about the positive side about, his independence.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, throughout, the stories that I've heard, him owning so much real estate in Memphis. The story that I heard from an old principal of his where he kind of, I guess, went into the office one day and kind of pulled up on his principal and kind of showed him like, he's doing it big out here now.
Mm-hmm.
As he, I guess, when he was younger, he always said he would do. And then he came and performed for that same school.
For the school.
Showing representation, showing, why that's important. And just like I said, incredibly business savvy, almost akin to, another great that we've lost in Nipsey Hussle. We lost a great one.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. Like Dolph is a lot of times unfortunately when this kind of thing happens, you get a lot of younger guys that maybe I didn't necessarily listen to all their music, but I knew of them.
Mm-hmm.
Von or XXX or just different artists like that. Dolph is really an artist that like we was coming into our own when Dolph came out, right? It was in college when Dolph dropped. It is definitely a rapper that I connect to personally. Well, not obviously not on a personal level. I don't know Dolph, but something music that I personally listen to. It's not other people's jive or their particular genre of music that I'm just noticing a rapper is no longer there. It's something that I listen to on a regular. So I feel like you're right in wanting to focus it around remembrance and positive things about Dolph. One of the things that I can remember that like really drew me to his music is that he has it's a trap sound, right? So there's not a whole lot of the content didn't dig too deep.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't make you think too hard. But the one thing I always appreciated about Dolph is that his production was always on another level.
Yep.
Right? He always sounded better than any nigga that was doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
It always sounded crisp. It always sounded like he took the time to make a finished product. He didn't just walk in there, smoke a million blunts, lay down whatever, and leave and go to the club, which is what half of these niggas do these days.
Yeah.
Right? He was definitely an artist who was committed to his craft. And it came through in the finished product for sure. It wasn't always like a glowing fan of the project, but it was something like you could tell that he went to work. You know, he clocked in and worked on these projects. But to do that
without the large budget of a major behind you,
exactly,
is nuts.
Yeah. That's dedication though. That's attention to detail. That's going over the same 30-second chord over and over and over again all night until you get it. Like, people don't work like that. That's a work ethic that has to be applauded, and it's something he'll be known for sure.
And just the sheer amount of projects that he's given us.
Right. He's not just a quality artist, but he cranked out music too. He didn't go away. He wasn't one of those artists that take 2 or 3 year breaks before they give you a project. He was constantly in the ethos.
Yeah. Yep. One thing I loved about Dolph is the fact that usually, at least at one point in the verse, he will just say some of this, just the most illest shit or like the hardest shit in a song, and it'd be like, damn. Like, did he really just say that? And like I said, it was almost every verse you heard. If it's a feature verse, if it's his song, he's always saying something that just
super memorable hooks.
Yeah.
So shit. Yeah, like it's just
even if it's simple, it's memorable. Get paid, young nigga, get paid.
Get paid.
Simple, but it hits.
If that nigga don't work, he a fucking leash. Preach. I ain't this poor nigga. Ain't nothing in this motherfucking world free. Preach.
Like when he said, when I first met my plug, I told him I piss 100 keys. Like, what? Like, come on, bruh. Like, just he would always hit you with a bar that.
When I wake up in the morning, I just eat dead presents.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many quotables that you can just go back and be like,
for sure.
Dolph had one with that one. Like I said, a huge presence in the hip hop community. Can't be understated the things that he's done in the industry. Like I said, especially being that he was completely independent. And you know he was independent because he didn't get that much radio play, but still made a major impact.
Still had a major impact without getting played over the airwaves a million fucking times. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dolph really got it out the mud. He was a true worker in the game, and I appreciated him in his craft for sure.
Now, one thing I do want to talk about as an aside, maybe it might just be a different conversation completely. I think it's weird that people kind of gatekeep grief. Like, have you ever seen that when somebody...
Yeah, like, oh, well, y'all didn't like him when he was here. Y'all wasn't singing his praises when he was here, kind of thing. Like,
or, you know, when people look down on the way a certain person chooses to remember the person, you know, it's I think it's kind of weird.
I've seen a lot of people talking about like his interviews or just kind of like outrageous shit that he did when he was out and about, and then that's the way that you remember Dolph and you remember him fondly. That's for you to enjoy, man. I'm not a grief police, and I'm also not a grief whore where I try to own the person in their death as if only I can grieve them and I know the particular way in to grieve them, right? Only my framing and my way of honoring someone, that is the way of honoring him, right? Because I made that decision. That's equally as nasty. That's just as nasty as the fake griefer. So yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's always gonna be that kind of stuff around it. Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to say is, like I already compared him to Nipsey Hussle. In time of their passing, you know, I look at it and I say, you know, what that artist was speaking about in their music is something that I can always go back and listen to. And in this specific case, and I think in Nipsey's case too, they own their masters. They are independent. They're wholly independent. They might have distribution deals, whatever. But, you know, if you get the chance to listen to their music, by all means, it seems like it'll go to their families in this case. So, you know, if you want to take time to enjoy his music, by all means.
And then the thing about that though is watch with Dolph. I can't guarantee anything because I don't know, what the family situation is or what their feelings are towards it. But if I were a betting man, I'd venture to bet that we don't see any posthumous albums out of Dolph's estate. If I had to bet, because you are right, it's someone who owns their masters, right? And they can make money off the music being replayed from now until the end of time. So, or allowing the music that's already been made to make money for them for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no reason to try and make money off of things that you're fooling yourselves if you know he ever wanted it released.
Yeah.
To say, oh well, he would have wanted the projects to be out in here. People, if that was the case, they would have been out. And for you to assume that that you would have wanted it out is extremely selfish and it's just foolish. Mm-hmm. So if I were a betting man, I would say that we won't see any posthumous albums out of Dolph.
Perfectly fine, because we have.
If they decide to go that route, that's obviously well within their rights to do, because Dolph's seen it fit for that stuff to stay with his family or whoever's handling his estate. Obviously post his untimely demise, he made it fit that way. So if they choose to go that route, at least it's a family decision.
I would have to say that after being shot at multiple times, he probably made it well known what he would want. He would want
it to happen. Oh yeah, for sure.
Untimely death. So
for sure,
I would have to think whatever decision they made as a family would probably be something that Dolph himself would have probably wanted.
For sure. R.I.P. Young Dolph. Give us your condolences or your prayers, whatever you have for Dolph in the comments.
The things that you liked about him.
Sure. Any Dolph memories, let us know in the comments below.
Make sure you subscribe for more hip hop stories, and make sure you check out some of our other videos.